Skyrim, land of civil unrest and ancient dragons. Well, as long as you complete the first quest in Whiterun. Otherwise, it's a pretty chill place.
You've explored Skyrim to death at this point, but maybe there's some special secrets and surprises hidden away that you never stumbled across. We'll show you 10 today, but stick around for more because we'll be covering them all in the coming weeks.
Let's start at the beginning, like actually the beginning of the game. Once you get through Alduin and Helgen for the 1000th time, it's time to head right back in, to Helgen. Go to the building you jump into after Alduin smashes the watchtower. There's a mead there called mead with juniper berries. You might say that, hey, that's not an Easter egg, that's
alcoholism.
Well, you're right, but it's also what the bottle is called where our secret lies. When you first enter Helgen, you'll hear a Nord talking about a specific mead. Mead with juniper berries.
This is Helgen. I used to be sweet on a girl from here. Wonder if GLaDOS is still making that mead with juniper berries mixed in.
And there you have it. Also, if you wait around for 7 to 30 days, the item will respawn. Maybe GLaDOS survived and keeps coming back to place the bottle down as tribute to Helgen, and he can't figure out who the bastard is that keeps stealing it. You're probably wondering if it does anything different than regular mead. Well, you'd be right. It restores 5 more points of stamina and damages stamina for 10 more seconds. Not the most flashy effects, but definitely an item for your already insane house you filled with unique items. Next Easter egg is located here at Bleak Coast Cave. You'll be wandering through Bleak Coast Cave, minding your own business, when suddenly you look up and see a skeleton hanging upside down from the cave ceiling. It's like the poor guy got caught in a freak accident, or was put there. And dangling just below this bony acrobat, a glowing greatsword, shimmering like it's straight out of a fantasy epic. This might seem familiar to some of you, as this whole setup is Skyrim's quirky nod to Star Wars. Remember that iconic scene in The Empire Strikes Back where Luke Skywalker is stuck in that icy cave in Hoth? Well, this skeleton is Skyrim's playful spin on that moment. Instead of Luke's lightsaber, you got this radiant greatsword, dangling temptingly below the skeleton. May the Thuum be with you. Was that too cringy?
Yes, it was. So let's move on to our next Easter egg. While traveling to the top of the throat of the world, you'll come across it. A hulking monstrosity that has plagued Skyrim beginners and pros alike. The dreaded frost troll. Alright, that's not really the Easter egg, but it should be at this point. It's iconic. Keep heading to the top. To the very top. Past even Parthenax. Here you'll find an interesting pickaxe stuck into the side of the mountain. This is the notched pickaxe. This pickaxe isn't just a tool for mining ore in Skyrim, it's a funny nod to Notch, the creator of Minecraft. Yep, the guy who brought us blocky adventures is immortalized here in Skyrim. The pickaxe even boosts your smithing skills, Skyrim's way of crafting stuff, making it a double whammy of game creator tribute and useful tool. This Easter egg is pretty awkward when you realize the Bethesda and Mojang were in a heated lawsuit about the name Scrolls around the time Skyrim was released. Whoopsie, maybe it was their way of extending the olive branch. The sweet roll is a lie, but not the next Easter egg we are going to talk about. Head to Skaldafn, and you're going to find a curious but familiar sight. In one of the fireplaces you will find a potato, and 3 pieces of charcoal placed in an odd way. Well, if you're familiar with Portal, then this won't surprise you. This is made to look exactly like GLaDOS from Portal 2. Well, her battery potato form, that is.
Let's do a quickfire and a bunch of references that are small Easter eggs. The East Empire Company is a reference to the East India Company. The city of Whiterun greatly resembles Edoras, the capital of Rohan. Both cities are built atop of a bluff, with the palace at the top of the hill, and they have a horse portrayed on their banner. I mean, just look at this place. I know when I first played Skyrim, I instantly thought of Rohan. The book Kolb and the Dragon is written in the distinctive style of a choose-your-own-adventure story that many Bethesda developers have stated they love, including Todd Howard. In Whiterun, the giant tree there is called the Gildergreen. It has grown from the Elder Gleam, the oldest living thing in Skyrim, but it's dying. This is similar to the Gondorian capital of Minas Tirith in The Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, where the legendary white tree faces a similar fate. I have no doubt the devs took a lot of inspiration from those books and movies. Alright, let's slow things back down and talk about our next place on the list. Imagine you're strolling through the wilds northeast of Bleakwind Basin in Skyrim and you stumble upon a serene pond. But wait, what's that? In the middle of the pond, there's a skeletal arm emerging from the water, gripping a sword. It's like a scene straight out of King Arthur's legend, the Lady of the Lake offering up Excalibur, but with a Skyrim twist. This eerie setup is Skyrim's nod to Arthurian lore. Instead of a mystical lady, you get a skeletal arm presenting a leveled sword. So next time you find yourself near Bleakwind Basin, take a moment to pay homage to Skyrim's own Lady in the Pond. Just don't expect any wise prophecies. She's more about leveling up your sword skills than granting kingdoms.
Let's go thieving in Markarth, shall we? You're sneaking around Endon's house in Markarth, trying not to knock over any pots or wake up the residents. You finally find yourself in the back of the room, and what do you see? A shelf decked out with sliced goat cheese, a row of garlic cloves, and GLaDOS arranged in a familiar pattern. But hold on a second. This isn't just any random arrangement of ingredients. Nope, it's an homage to Pac-Man. Yep, that iconic game where a yellow circle gobbles up pellets while dodging ghosts. Here, instead of pellets, you've got sliced cheese, garlic, and GLaDOS, probably standing in for ghosts. It's something that's easy to miss, and you may have never realized that it existed. It seems like many of these references and Easter eggs are built that way, hidden in plain sight. Let's wander through the peaceful village of Iverstead in Skyrim. Here you'll come across a woman named Temba Whitearm. Now, that name might just sound like another Skyrim NPC at first glance, but hold on, there's a nerdy twist here. Turns out, Temba Whitearm is Skyrim's playful nod to Star Trek, The Next Generation. In an iconic episode called Darmok, there's this phrase that gets repeated, Temba his arms wide. It's part of a language puzzle where meanings are conveyed through metaphorical references.
Let's switch gears and look at an Easter egg that is pretty niche that most of you probably missed. You'll need to trek through the rugged terrain south of the shrine to Periite in Skyrim, not far from Karthwasten. As you navigate the rocky slopes, you spot something peculiar halfway up a mountain, a skeleton lying peacefully. But what's that next to it? Well, usually it's a saber cat wedged tightly between two rocks with a glass sword piercing through its mouth and head. In my game, for some reason, it seemed to fall apart. This chilling scene isn't just a random encounter in Skyrim. It's a clever nod to the epic movie 300. Remember that intense moment where Leonidas faces off against a wolf, leading it into a narrow passage, and skewering it through the mouth with a spear? Well, here's Skyrim recreation with a dramatic flair with a saber cat and the glass sword. Quick sidebar, my dad took me and my brother to this movie when we were young, and the lady at the theater said we're too young to see it, and recommended to my dad that we shouldn't watch it. It's like my version of the GameStop employee snitching to your parents about GTA. You're retracing your steps from Riverwood back to the cave where you first emerged after the prologue of Skyrim. And yes, there it is. Good old Ember Shard Mine, nestled in the rocky terrain. But hold on, this isn't just any old mine. No, this mine has a story to tell, and it reaches back into the realms of Dungeons & Dragons. You see, Ember Shard Mine isn't just a name plucked out of thin air. It's a nod to the popular D&D podcast where characters like Binwin Bronzebottom, played by Scott Kurtz, spin tales of dwarven family feuds. In one memorable moment, Binwin's father gave up the ale because of the Ember Shard clan of dwarves allegedly swiping their mine. Fast forward to Skyrim and you'll find a note on a skeleton echoing a similar tale, but with a Nordic twist instead of a dwarven one. It's a pretty cool nod to a very famous point in time for Dungeons & Dragons fans.
In the Dark Brotherhood, there's a fascinating character named Babette, who happens to be a vampire. Her name pays homage to Anne Rice's novel Interview with the Vampire, where Babette was the main character's initial love interest. Interestingly, within the Brotherhood's lore, Babette's appearance mirrors Claudia, a vampire who looked like a young girl despite being decades old and the protagonist's daughter. It's a clever nod, blending vampire lore with literature into Skyrim's dark world of assassins. Just south of Markarth, close to Purewater Run, there's a picturesque scene, a stone bridge spanning a waterfall. If you're exploring Skyrim for the first time, you might spot 3 goats grazing nearby. Curiosity leads you under the bridge, where you discover a dead troll lying in wait. This enchanting setup is a nod to the classic children's tale, Three Billy Goats Gruff. Remember how the brave goats outsmarted a menacing troll under a bridge? Interestingly, a similar homage was also tucked into Oblivion, Bethesda's earlier installment in the Elder Scrolls series. If you're looking for more secrets or unmarked locations and quests, then check out the channel because we definitely have more videos for you and a whole lot more coming.
If you could like the video, we'd super appreciate it. It really does help us out a lot. You can also follow me on Twitter with the link in the description. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you in the next.